I had an encounter in the realm of the spirit. I was taken to the third heavens and I saw some mysteries, and some of them I was allowed to share with the world. I feel it would be very unfair if I don't share this particular one that I saw. There's been many times I have seen lots of things, but this one is something that I believe that would really be a blessing to you. I call it the vision of the 8 pillars. Now listen to the vision. It was in the morning while I was praying and waiting on the Lord. The whole thing started like an immediate thing. Immediately. I can't describe whether it was in the flesh or in the spirit, because it looked like it was both. I was transported into the clouds with a full speed. It was like a travel. I went on a top speed. What was transporting me was like a wind. And immediately, I found myself in a room. It was full of smoke and glory. It was like the Lord Almighty had surrounded the place. As I looked in front, I saw a big throne. It was something that was compared to the glorious throne of God I have read about. I immediately bowed down my knee in prayer. And my prayer somehow was full of thanksgiving and praise. It was as though I had experienced all the good things of the world. There was no joy in this world that I have ever experienced that could be compared to the joy I saw and felt in front of that throne. I couldn't but praise God and worship Him for who He is, not even for what He has done. After some few minutes, came from amongst the clouds, looked beautiful in power. The man was in an armor. He looked at me and smiled and took my right hand and said, "Come, let me show you something." I was transported once again through the wind of clouds. I saw different houses with many places in the houses. The man that walked with me told me these are the courts of God. Immediately we stood in front of one of those houses and the door opened by itself. I entered together with the man that was holding my hand. When we entered, there was no session going on, but I saw pillars. I saw 5 pillars. These 5 pillars looked goldish and it was full of smoke. And the pillar was something that looked so glorious, like an altar or a pulpit. As I looked closely, I saw the names of these pillars. The first one I saw was the pillar of lust. The second one I saw was the pillar of anger. The third one I saw was the pillar of greed. The fourth one I saw was the pillar of vanity. The fifth one I saw was the pillar of pride. These pillars were situated at my left hand. Then the angel told me to look to the right. When I looked to the right, I saw 3 pillars. These pillars were the same as the first 5 I had seen on my left, only that these ones were whitish in color. When I looked closely, I saw the names of these pillars. The biggest of them was love. The one after was in between in terms of size, and that was hope. The smallest of that pillar was faith. I asked the man that was holding my hand what this could mean. I said, "Can you explain to me what I'm seeing?" Then the man said, "Look beyond you." When I looked, I saw far from a distance, even though it looked so far, it was close to me. I saw a lot of books arranged, and on each book was inscribed many names. The books I saw were millions upon millions. I saw tables and I saw thrones. Then the angel said, "This is one of the courtrooms where decisions are made concerning the destinies of men on earth, and even the stars of heaven, and even here in the third heavens." He said, "Upon the earth, the state of a man's glory or misfortune, his progress or his retrogression, his pain or his power, is decided here and in some of the rooms and the houses you found around this community." Then the angel told me to look at one of the pillars. When I looked, it was like a measuring tape. Something could measure the length of everything that I see. I can't describe it in words, but it looked like every name that will be mentioned have its own measure in any of these pillars I had seen. The highest pillar that would measure will be how a decision will be made concerning the person whose name has been mentioned. The angel said that these pillars you saw are the determinants of the judgments and the decisions that are made concerning these men. If, for instance, anger is the motive behind every action he does, it is used in his judgment. He said, "Don't concentrate on the ones you saw on your left, but let your mind be on the ones you saw on your right." He said, "Many will come here into the third heavens realizing that if they could do everything with these three pillars, especially with the highest one, which was love," he said, "they will gloriously be crowned with a crown of glory, which awaits for those who walk with the high measure of the first pillar on my right, which was love." He said, "If all things are done in love, men are determined by the courts of God for things to work for them in beauty, in power, in glory, and in excellence." Then the vision was taken away from me. I would advise that as you watch this, or as you listen to this vision, you would be advised to walk in love, to walk in hope, and to walk in faith. Let everything that has to do with the pillars I saw at my left leave you. As much as possible, try and let go of all things that are connected to lust, to anger, to greed, to vanity, and to pride. May the Lord be your help and your shield. Let those that have ears hear what the Spirit says.